Colin, when you look back on this Army game, what's going to be your most lasting memory and why?
Yeah, it was just an awesome game. I think we played exactly how we wanted to, exactly how we knew we could. So it was super exciting, super fulfilling to win that game with the seniors. Kind of finish off the season, um, at least that part of the season, with what we had talked about since January. So now we're excited for Oklahoma.
I know Coach Volker had talked a lot about it. He really wanted to see you guys attacking. Maybe thought that wasn't something that, even though you guys had played great defense over your 4 years against Army, that he really thought you could attack. What went into that game plan that made it so you guys really attacked like you did?
Yeah, we weren't sitting back on our heels. We were aggressive. We blitzed a lot. I think we played with more effort and more physicality, and I think that showed.
Now, with the opportunity to win double-digit games, becoming one of only 6 teams in Naval Academy history to do that, how important and how are you guys approaching this game against Oklahoma?
Yeah, that'd be huge for us when we talk about our legacy that we want to leave behind. Being able to do something like that would be huge. So we're preparing hard for Oklahoma. They're a really good team. Lots of good skill players, big guys, SEC team, obviously. So lots to prepare for.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Eric Bailey.
Well, thank you so much for being on. Eric Bailey with the Tulsa World. I apologize first. I might add some ignorant questions. Just I'm getting used to the Navy system and everything. But I want to ask you, can you just for Oklahoma fans describe what a typical day like is during the regular season? I don't think they understand typically what you go through in terms of school, your responsibilities, practice. What is a
Yeah,
typical day like?
yeah. So you got it's kind of like a high school schedule. You got 5 or 6 periods of classes, um, and in between there we do lunch meetings or lift, whatever it may be. Um, and then after school, around 3, 4 o'clock, we begin meetings again, and then practice. So it's a full day of school, bunch of tough classes, and then practice in between.
This Navy journey you've been through, how much do you think it's going to help you in life when you look back? 20 years from now, you're going to look back, and what do you think you're going to say to yourself?
Yeah, it's gonna be huge. It's been a challenge the last 4 years here, but that they do that on purpose to prepare you for the future. I think you go through a ton of things that are necessary to be successful. Um, so I'm really grateful for it.
My last question is, we look at the college football landscape and we see the world of NIL. I know the opportunities aren't the same, but what are your thoughts on NIL? And do you think that's going to impact Navy in the future at all?
I'm not sure. People are talking about it impacting Navy now, and I think you see Army and Navy the seasons we've had
Mhm.
with no NIL, no transfer portal, anything like that. I think NIL is a good opportunity for some people, but I think at some point it's gonna have to be regulated or something. But that's not my call. So
Well, thanks so much for your time. I appreciate it.
thank you.
Eric, if you check out our game notes, page 4, we have a day in the life of Colin Ramos. It does from start to finish, including what
Oh,
class and everything. And it also lists the classes both Colin and Dobbin Fafana, our other captain, are taking. So that will help you.
perfect, Scott. Thank you.
No problem. Bill Wagner.
Colin, can you kind of talk about what do you think the keys to turning things around this season are? I mean, you obviously this was a breakthrough season for Navy. What did you feel were the key things? You all probably, you sat down with Daba and all the seniors and talked about what do we need to do to get over the hump and have a winning season. What do you feel were some of the key elements?
Yeah, I think it was just kind of re-emphasizing the standard of Navy football. Um, I think some things had slipped in the past, and I think Dob and I and the rest of the seniors, we did a really good job um, not being afraid to enforce those standards, not be afraid to do the things that sometimes aren't considered the cool things to do, but it's the necessary things to do to be successful. Um, so I think just the buy-in from the overall team was unlike any other year that I've been here. From the freshmen that came in that bought in to what the seniors, the juniors, the sophomores, what we were preaching, what the coaches were preaching. I think that was probably the biggest thing.
What can you say about the coaching staff? Obviously, a big part of it is, having the right chemistry within the coaching staff. And it looks like Coach Newberry's hit, with two good coordinators with Coach Cronick and Coach Volker, and they're getting the job done on both sides of the ball. And obviously, Coach Newberry in his second season, I'm sure he learned lessons from his first season. What do you feel about, the leadership from the coaching staff? Do you feel that Navy's in a good place?
Yeah, no doubt. I think we have one of the best coaching staffs in the country. Coach Cronick was a absolutely great hire, as you guys all know. What he's done to this offense this year with guys like Blake and everyone else. Coach Volker has always been a great coach, great linebacker coach, now a great defense coordinator. Coach Brown's a great special teams coordinator. I think we just have a bunch of coaches that truly care about us and that put in an incredible amount of time and effort to make us successful. I think everyone in the locker room respects every single coach that we have. And when you have that respect that goes both ways, it goes pretty far.
So how do you, I know you're going to be graduating, but how can you, make sure this continues? You don't want this to be a 1-year turnaround and then things backslide. Is there anything you all as seniors can do to try to perpetuate the success and make sure it continues?
Yeah, I think the example that all the seniors have led by this year will leave a mark on those juniors that are coming up, those sophomores, guys that are going to be captains on this team. I think we kind of left a blueprint of kind of the way to do things, the standard. And I think those younger guys, those juniors, I think we got some great juniors who are going to make some great captains, and I think they'll keep it in the direction.
Well, that's what I was going to, do you feel, and especially on defense, you're very senior laden, but do you feel that the young talent in the program, the underclassmen, you feel there's a lot of talent coming back next year that will enable Navy to be successful again?
Oh, yeah, no doubt at all. I think there's a ton of young talent that already plays, and I think there's guys that you guys haven't even seen who are going to have great off seasons and be successful players here in the future.
With regard to Oklahoma, they've kind of struggled offensively within the SEC. That was probably their Achilles heel most of the season. But, it's a SEC team with some great athletes. What are you seeing out of the Oklahoma offense?
Yeah, they're like you said, it's an SEC team. They're big, they're fast, they're strong. They're a good team. They like to run the football, then they can throw it out wide too. So they're a dynamic offense. They're a good team, and we're going to have to be our best.
Can you talk about the opportunity that's in front of you? Because this is very similar to 2019. That team had a great season and captured the Commander-in-Chief's trophy, beat Army. But then it went put a nice cap on the season by upsetting Kansas State, which is a power program. You have a chance to do the same thing, which would, definitely make this one of the great teams in Navy history.
Yeah, it's been a pretty great season so far, but like you said, we would love to cap it off with a win over Oklahoma, and that's what we're going to work to do.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Wags, you must have missed the 3-question edict. A reminder on Oklahoma, they have 6 losses. 2 losses to teams in the playoffs, 2 losses to teams that just missed the playoffs, a ranked Missouri and at LSU. Plus, they beat Alabama and beat Auburn. So, yeah, they're still good. Richard Martis. I'm not sure if you have anything or not. All right, we'll go back around. Scott Wyckoff.
Colin, how much has it meant to you guys, especially the linebackers, the way not only this defensive line is eating up blocks, but the way they're making tackles for losses? How has that evolved over the season? And to Wags' point, you've got a sophomore, a junior, and a senior on that defensive line.
Yeah, our defensive line's been playing great. I think they absolutely killed it versus Army. Guys like Landon, Jay Reed, Griff, all Luke Pierce out there too. I think we have a great D line, and when they play well, that gives the secondary a chance to stay in coverage. Gives us the linebackers to fill our gaps easier. When they're playing well, the defense is playing well.
What's this going to be like for you, having time off actually during the season, getting to go home and hang out and then go off to play in the bowl game. Are you going to be lifting while you're being home, or are you just going to try to get away from the game? What are you going to do?
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely be lifting. I'll bring my cleats home, get out to the field as if it's a bye week. I'll still go out there, do some drills. So I don't want any rust forming over this break. So I'll be working.
Do you like the fact that you guys get a chance to go home for a few days before you head down for a full week at the bowl game?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Anytime you get a chance to go home around here, it's pretty special. So I'll take it.
Enjoy.
Thank you.
When we went to AAC Media Day, I only got one question from Colin and Daba. What time and where can we work out? It will be working out. Eric Haley.
I want to ask you, Colin, just about Coach Newberry. Has he talked about being from Oklahoma and being around that program to you guys? And also, can you just kind of expand upon his leadership and his guidance as a head coach?
Yeah, no, he has not talked about being from Oklahoma. But as a leader, Coach Newberry, I don't think there's anybody better than Coach Newberry as a leader. Super humble, super driven, keeps us focused on the mission of what we're trying to achieve each and every week. So he was a great defensive coordinator when he was the DC here, and now he's a fantastic head coach. He put together this great staff that we have. All the guys love him and trust him, so really grateful to have him.
I asked you about your Navy journey. I do want to ask you, what's your plans post-football?
The Marine Corps.
Okay. And my last question, too, we talk about Oklahoma. How familiar are you with the Oklahoma football program, either this week or growing up or seeing the offenses that they've had in the past? Just what's your familiarity with Oklahoma football?
Everybody knows Oklahoma football. So I didn't really grow up a college football fan. I was more of an NFL guy. But you don't have to watch college football to know who Oklahoma is. So it's a pretty cool opportunity that we have ahead of us.
Colin, thanks so much for your time today. You have a Merry Christmas, okay?
Thank you. You too.
Oklahoma is the 6th all-time winningest program in FBS history. Lags.
Do you agree with the banner that's been flying over MetLife Stadium that they need to give everyone?
I will not comment on that. No, it's been a tough season, but I still believe in the Giants and who they got.
All right. Just kind of talk about how the schedule. You come out of Army Navy, you can have a little time to rest, but then you got to get back to it next week. Do you feel like you all will have the preparation time you need to get ready for Oklahoma when you get out to Fort Worth?
Yeah, no doubt. We're putting a good amount of the game plan in this week while we're still here. Well, all the guys that are dedicated, I know they are. So guys will watch a bunch of film while at home still. I know a bunch of guys will still work out, get to the fields, and then when we get back when we go to Texas on Monday, it's game week, so we'll be ready.
So you're going to be out there during Christmas, and I'm going to talk to Coach Newberry about this. But is there any plan? But how are you all going to celebrate Christmas? Or is your family going to? I'm sure your family, they don't miss anything. But yeah. I mean, you at least will be able to be with family. But it's going to be odd, a different type of Christmas, won't it?
Yeah, it'll be a Christmas like I've never had before. But this is pretty exciting because a lot of people are like, "Oh, you're sad, you're not going to be home for Christmas." But this is everything I've wanted over the last 4 years, playing the bowl game. So I knew that was worth it. But Scott probably can answer that better. I've never been to a bowl game, so I don't know how Christmas works.
Josh, when's the last time Navy was away for Christmas? I'm trying to think about. I don't remember traveling.
Yeah, I'd have to look. Liberty Bowl was after.
Yeah,
it's been a little bit. Maybe the last time we were in the Armed Forces Bowl. I don't remember off the top of my head.
Okay. All right, I'm good. Thanks, Colin.
Thanks, Bill.
Everyone talked about getting ready for Army Navy and getting ready for the bowl game, and no one's talked about you guys also have been in exams. Tell us what exams that you had last week and this week.
Yeah, last week I had a Chinese history exam. That one went well. Yesterday I took a Spanish exam. That was okay. And then this morning I had a weapons test, and that was something. So glad that's done.
Do you have any left?
Yes, I have a law exam tomorrow.